Welcome to Doug in Exile. Geraldo Rivera, my favorite failed journalist, has opposed Trump, and now he's coming out in support of him. This video is going to feature Geraldo Rivera, a good take, and then a Geraldo Rivera bad take, and then Victor Davis Hanson with the best take.
Trump's team is countering, calling it, quote, the indictment of a failed nation.
This is about Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Trump said this is a true failure of this nation. And Geraldo goes off on Alvin Bragg.
And instead, he diverts the resources to go after Donald Trump on an 8-year-old incident that was already passed over by the federal prosecutors, and Cy Vance, who preceded Alvin Bragg in the DA's office. They checked this stuff out and they decided not to go forward. So to go forward on the Stormy Daniels payoff, I think to me is really low down and dirty local politics.
This does breach into what is a state right that goes on inside of Manhattan versus a public national candidate like Trump, is that we tend to separate the states from the federal rights, and here they're crossing over. Here's the great Peter Doocy hammering Biden on it.
Mr. President, do you think that the charges against Trump are politically motivated?
No comment.
Biden has no comment on Trump. He probably forgot who he is.
And now what do? They want to perp walk the former president of the United States.
Geraldo confirms that this is all just Democrat marketing. This is not justice.
But what I am sure, Steve, is that this is unfair, that this is a lame case brought by a politically motivated district attorney, in my view. It will not end well, regardless of what the outcome is. Trump goes to jail. Can you imagine on charges like this that the American people, generally speaking, have no faith in? I think it really is unseemly and unfortunate. And I think that when he says that it's election interference and political persecution, that resonates to me and many others.
This is the magic of this disastrous error by Alvin Bragg, is it even united Geraldo to Trump. It's vacuuming up support for Trump. Rhinos agree that this is political. Middle Republicans, squishy middle voters are rallying to Trump because they sense something is wrong with the country. And that's what this election could very well be about. Biden, which is what's wrong with the country, or an avatar of what's wrong with the country, versus Trump, who is like an unhinged cage fighter. And America's going to start seeing the need for this guy. But here's Geraldo on Twitter coming up with a solution that is the worst idea, career-ending idea I could think of. Here's Geraldo. Biden should pardon Trump in exchange for Trump pledging he will not seek re-election. You do not reward what you don't want repeated. You can't give them that victory. Trump can't do that really bad idea, he continues. Pardon only applies to federal judges. New York, Georgia, and other state charges could still be brought, but would be discouraged. It would change the national conversation, heal the divide. This is wrong. It will increase the divide because Democrats will know this is how you do politics. This is how you take out any candidate you want. Oh, and heal the divide. Trump didn't start the divide. This was a divide that was assaulted by the Democrats, by Alvin Bragg, overstepping his district attorney, Manhattan state rights. He goes after a political opponent just after he announces that he's running for president. Now here's Victor Hanson with some wisdom on the subject. Victor Davis Hanson, the left is saying to America, we are so morally superior to you that we can and must employ any means necessary to achieve our unpopular political ends. But you cannot respond in kind or deter us by mimicking our own tactics, because should both parties do so, the resulting disorder would undermine the republic, and that's something you won't dare do. That is a great challenge. What Victor Davis Hanson is saying is it's time to cut off the gloves and it's time to get in the ring and have Trump be our champion. We've had this argument before about populism is not constitutional conservatism. Populism says if a leftist does it to you, you do it back to them, not because revenge is good, revenge is never good, but because it's the only way that they will change the way that they break the rules, is if you fight them back in kind. You've heard like Texas lawyers, Texas district attorneys could now go after Biden and his crime family, and they should, just over this indictment alone. If you don't hit them back, they will not learn, and they won't stop doing it just by us observing the proper rules of the Constitution. They believe the Constitution only works one way. That is for them and against you. That's not a principle. If you agree, give us a thumbs up. Let me know, even if you disagree, in the comments below. I'm Doug in Exile.